Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. I can't believe it's Sunday already. I hope you've been having a wonderful weekend. We are doing this bonus session because we missed you. We had so much fun last week. It was so incredible. I had so many breakthroughs myself, and it just made me want to take my whole receiving game to a whole nother level, which I'm very excited about. But yeah, let me know how your weekend's going. Let me know where you're tuning in from, what you've been up to this weekend. Yesterday, me and my family, we went, well, Kellen's got a new mountain bike, so he wanted to test it out. And so he went cycling, I went walking. Oh my gosh, you should have seen me with the stroller and a 1 year old and a newborn. It was a bit of a nightmare. But anyway, I hope you've been having a really fun weekend, and I'm excited that we're back. We're going to do this fun bonus session. We've got lots of goodness for you. We've got a new bonus to share with you, and we have got winners to announce, winners for scholarships, which is very exciting. Anyway, obviously it's Sunday. Our time is all precious, and we want you to make the most of being here and hanging out with us. So without further ado, we've got Gina with us. Hi, Gina.
Hey, Carrie. Happy Sunday, everyone. So great to be with you. And Carrie, as you were saying, my goodness, what a high vibe week. Seeing these women, seeing you all just go for it and go to the core and dive deep and really get great at receiving all of what for some of you was really brand new information, and for others of you was taking it in at a much deeper level. And just kind of really seeing you put your hearts out on the line there. It's like so brave and so much courage. So as Carrie said, we're so thrilled to have you here today, and just wanted to show up with a whole lot of love. You know, this path, we can, like, you know, even when we're talking about our dreams, we can start to get really tight about it. We can almost have this clenched fist feeling, and it's like, I gotta make it happen, or what happens if it doesn't happen? And you know, I just want you to breathe, and I want you to relax, and I want you to know that, well, first of all, we all feel that way. And you know, the thinking of the world has gotten us so wound up and so like fear-based, and thinking that we have to figure it all out and we have to make it all happen, and then there's something wrong with us if we don't or we can't. And that is not true. That is not spiritual principle. That is not the way life works. That's not the way of the feminine. And, you know, I think most of us, perhaps depending on what part of the world you live in, but if you're scrolling through Instagram at all, you are seeing so many powerful farewells to Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And I can't help but feel like she's passed the baton to us, that she was this ordinary woman, and she just let her life be used. And yes, she did the work that she was meant to do, but not all of us are meant to go to law school and champion women's rights in the way that she has, but we all have this important purpose. And I think when we get out of our heads about, like, oh God, can I make it happen? Will it happen for me? What if it doesn't happen? And all that self-obsession that comes when we're in fear. And I know it myself, like, it's like anytime you're in fear, you're in survive mode, and you're just like, well, how can I, it's all about me, and what can I do, and what can I get someone to buy, and what do I need to say that they'll like? And it's all this like really like heaviness and ickiness, and it's not us and our true feminine nature, and it's not natural. And that's why we want to really open up here today and get us into alignment. I see so many of you who have just made the decision and cut through your terror barrier to show up, and just like, you don't know what's going to happen, and yet you are taking that leap of faith, and you're just starting. And I want you to know that is enough. I was reading Maria Shriver's newsletter, and she talked today about Eckhart Tolle. And before he was Eckhart Tolle, and he was basically broke, he said a prayer, and he just said, "Dear God, please use me. Let my life be used." And I want us all to just say that together right now. Just like, dear God, and you can pick spirit, universe, whatever's right for you, higher power, like, dear, please use me. Let my life be used. And the only next thing he said was prepare me for the next level. Prepare me for, it's this simple. Dear God, please use me, and whatever that next level is, and having my life be used, please prepare me for that next level. And I thought, oh my gosh, how simple, but how profound. And I know that when I just say it out loud, that's what I want you to like say it out loud and get it in your bones. Like, dear God, please use me. Let my life be used and prepare me for this next level. You really get, you've done your job. Like, your job is to be available. Your job is to ask. It is ask and it is given. And I know that we talked a lot this week about taking the pressure off about having a certain deadline on those goals. You know, when you just decide to just show up and you don't know how it's going to happen and you don't even know when it's going to happen, but you can just like feel all that pressure get taken off, because when you take off the pressure, you make room for certainty. Is when you just make the decision, I'm going to do this. I'm going to learn how to speak French until I'm fluent in it. It's like game over. Because then all you have to do is show up and do your part each day. And you study a little more and a little more, and you practice a little more and a little more. And then one day you're speaking French fluently. And the same thing goes with all of your business dreams or your money dreams and the dreams around these packages. Like, you take one step and then the next step, and you don't know who that first client is going to be, and you don't know when that first increment of money is going to come in. But if you have made the decision that it is going to happen no matter what, you know you're powerful, you know you're capable, and that's when you start co-creating with the universe. You're powerful and you're capable. The universe is loving and infinite. And remember, it's all about that double blessing, you showing up to live your best life, to be of service, to make a difference in the life of others, and asking that your life be used and to be prepared for the next level. Eckhart's next level was the power of now and Oprah. Like, it's like that. Like, that's how big the universe delivers. He was just one broke, homeless dude with a prayer. Like, I don't even know that he had the dream of what he's living today, but he had a prayer. And that is all you need. That is all you need for today. That is all you need to know, is that you are loved, that you matter, that you can say this prayer. And it's time for us feminine women to get out of the masculine thinking we need to make everything happen and stop doing God's job. Like, make room for the universe, make room for the infinite. You're just say yes, and then let yourself be dazzled. Let yourself be open to the miracles. Let yourself see what can be brought to you and how this amazing life of yours can be used. And I don't know about you, but I know for me, like, I mean, I'm 47 now, but I know, like, this lighting makes me look like I'm 187, but I'm not ET today, ladies. Trust me here. I'm 47, and all through my 20s and 30s, I looked up to these other women who were doing big things in the world. And, you know, for any of you that watched the Ruth Bader Ginsburg documentary, it's like, you know, like, oh, well, Ruth was supposed to do all this important work. And I made up all these stories. That, well, she had a law degree, and she was smart, and she was, like, I don't know, lived in a different time or had a more important purpose, or like this was just given to her. Maybe it wasn't like that at all. Maybe she too raised her hand and said, please use me. And this is how the universe ushered her own destiny in. And maybe our destinies are just as important and just as profound, because how could they not be? We're all created by the same source. We, in Spirit's eyes, we are all equal, which means we are all important. I found myself the other day comparing myself to another colleague who was getting some really big results. I wanted them too. and she had accomplished some results that I haven't yet accomplished. And I started, like, playing the tape through in my mind. Well, like, why has she accomplished these results and I haven't? And I said, well, she's been doing it longer than me. And I had to catch myself, and I was like, no, she's not. And I started like saying what the next excuse was and the next, and I was like, when you actually investigate this stuff, have you guys done Byron Katie's work? Like, and you, for those of you who haven't, Byron Katie is an author, and she has this really cool 4-step process. And it's like, anytime you're in a story, you ask yourself, like, is it true? How do I know it's true? Who would I be without this thought? And then do a turnaround. And I'm not going to go into a deep Byron Katie workshop here, but I was basically practicing that on myself. And I was like, yeah, well, so-and-so can do this because she's been doing this stuff longer than me. And I was like, is it true? And I was like, no, actually, I've been doing it longer. And it's like, how do I know that's true? It's like, well, I actually know that it's not true. And then who would I be without the thought, well, she can do it, but I can't. And I was like, I would be happy. I would be powerful. I would be manifesting that dream. I would be continuing to move it forward. I would be like all focused on the manifestation versus the fear of why it can't happen. And then the turnaround basically is, you know, I'm meant to do this too. And so are you. So if you woke up today in any kind of fear or insecurity or just knowing that you love being part of this group and you know you're meant to be in this perfectly packaged program, but you've got some kind of fear stopping you, I want you to know how loved and needed you are. Like, what if Ruth Bader Ginsburg, all of the time, she must have felt overwhelming, crippling fear. What if she gave into the fear? What if she didn't try? What if Eckhart Tolle, he's a human, he had to have fear. What if he didn't show up and say, dear God, please use me, and overcome those first steps of writing those first pages? And you know how different the world would be without that phenomenal book. And you just got to know it's the same for you. And those first terror barriers, I think Carrie is also so eloquent. I want to invite Carrie on to talk about, like, we all feel the fear and do it anyways. We all wanted something that we didn't have the money for, and we came up with it anyways. And that's the opportunity for women like us to start to normalize. Like, it shouldn't be that just some people come up with the money, and it's not that some people just have the money. Like, the big breakthroughs come. You heard my story. I had $60 in my bank account. There was a program that came out that was $289 a month. It wouldn't have looked like I could have afforded that. But I chose to dig deep within and co-create with the universe, and I no longer let myself be put on the sidelines. And I found that way, and I had to move through all kinds of psychological barriers and all kinds of terror barriers and all kinds of emotions. The number one thing I had to do was I had to be an advocate for myself for the first time. I had to say, you know what? I am not going to watch everyone else enroll in that program. I'm not going to watch everyone else live the big life. I'm not going to watch everyone else have the money. I'm going to find a way to. So Carrie, do you want to come on and share anything about times when you wanted to do something and it didn't look like the money was there, or you were afraid and thought maybe it might not work out?
Yeah, absolutely. I was loving listening to all of that. It's so powerful. I feel like as well, just so much is possible when you just surrender to not having it figured out and just ask for that support and guidance. It's just makes such a difference because we don't have to have it all figured out. I think this comes back down to the point of all the answers are out there. We have to open ourselves up and be willing to receive the answers. And I think this is kind of part of it, because if, you know, you have to be willing to open up and like actually receive that help. And for me, throughout my journey, like I remember around the time, when was it? It was, had I started the I think I'd just started, I had started FEA, and I was in a mentoring program that was £500 a month. And it was a huge investment for me. And I'd never had been invested in like a program like that before. It ran on for a year. But I knew if I want to make this journey into, because my first business was phone unlocking, really random, but it was an amazing experience. It was incredible to build an online business. I was at university at the time. I had no idea what I was doing, and then learn how to do it. So when I had started to transition into FEA, I wanted to work with people and be surrounded by people that were also building online digital marketing businesses, information-based businesses, because that's where I learned you need to build your email list. And I learned about, you know, how to make a website that converts, and how to, you know, the power of making videos and all sorts of things. And I remember, like, it was scary to make that decision and decide to actually back myself, but essentially doing that was backing myself. I was literally saying, these are my dreams, this is the direction I want to go in, and I have to back myself with this decision, and I have to go for it and trust that I'll find a way. And I think so often in life with things like, I remember even when we bought this house, it felt like such a jump from where I was at previously, and it terrified me because you start thinking, well, what if things don't work out, and what if I can't pay the mortgage, and what if this and what if that. But what I found was that every time in my life where I've had a big dream and a big goal to do something, the leap to get there is terrifying. But then, like, once you actually take that leap, if it feels like the right thing to do, you take the leap, you figure it out, and then you just up level, and then all of a sudden, like a month or 2 months in, like, it feels like what was I so worried about? And for me, I've always found that, like, when you are at that, on that edge of that next big thing, that next big adventure, that next big dream or goal or desire, taking that leap is terrifying, and you do question and doubt yourself. But when you go all in, it's just, there's no stopping you. And I have always found that to be true. And I think that's how we grow, and that's how we evolve. And if it wasn't scary, every single person would do this stuff. But it is scary, and we have to, I find that I have had to get comfortable with being so uncomfortable. That is how I have created the success that I have, is because I've looked, like, down the barrel of those fears, and I've decided that I'm not going to let them win. I wrote this in my book, I choose my dreams over my fears. And I think that's what we all have to consistently do if we want to live that epic life that is ours for the taking. It does come back to the decisions that we make every day. And there's like that quote that says, what's your thoughts, for they become, what is it? Basically, I'm not going to say the quote, but the long and short of it is that what we think and feel becomes out, like, that's what we make our decisions on. Our decisions determine the action we take. The action we take determines our entire life. So we have to start thinking about, we have to start paying attention to what we're thinking, what we're feeling, so that we can make better decisions, so that we can take better action. And that also means having that awareness around when fear and that self-sabotaging voice is making the moves, and when actually we're following our heart, we're following our intuition. And sometimes that is scary, and but we have to have the courage to follow it. That, I think, that is how you unlock the dream life, is to have that courage. It's not always easy.
It is. The other thing that amazes me too, you mothers, let's see in the comments, like, how many of you are moms, right? Like, I'm a mom, or a mom, or whatever it is. Like, with all due respect, there are challenges in business, and there are things you got to figure out. But, like, you moms have already done the hard part, right? Like, you got pregnant, you had a human grow inside your body, and for many of you, more than one time. And then you, like, had that human exit your body, and then you got to figure out what to do with this human, and they're all different. And, like, there's no rule book for this, and there's no paint by number, and there's no, like, this is what you do first, and this is what you do second, because what worked with the first one doesn't work with the second one, right? It's like, but what do? You figure it out along the way.
Yeah. It's so true. And I also think that it's what you said before about learning a language. I find it really interesting. I often say this when I'm doing trainings and things. If you decided you were going to learn a language or play a musical instrument, you wouldn't decide to learn, like, let's say, musical instruments. You wouldn't decide to learn the piano, the violin, the guitar all at the same time, because it would be crazy. You'd be so overwhelmed. You'd pick one and you'd be like, right, I'm going to learn to get really good at the piano. And if you sit down and your goal is to get better at the piano, what would you do? You'd go and get a piano teacher. You'd go and get piano lessons. You'd go and, like, read, figure out how to read piano music, and you would practice and you'd practice and you'd practice and you'd practice. And you already know that at the beginning, you're not going to be very good, and it's going to be really frustrating. That frustrating feeling when you want to know how to do something, but it literally physically kind of hurts your mind because it just feels so overwhelming to break through that barrier when you're not that great at something. But you know, if you keep practicing, you keep learning, you keep getting the right support, you will get better and better and better. And you know, if you consistently practice for say 3 months, 6 months, in 3 months or 6 months time, you're going to be so much better than you were when you started. The same is true in business, but for some bizarre reason, we don't have that same mindset around it. For some reason, when it comes to business, we have this feeling like we automatically should know how to do it, and we should be able to figure it out. And we don't necessarily automatically go to get a teacher or to go and actually learn. We try and take it all on ourselves and try and figure out like how we can do it, how we can make it work without going and getting the help. And I find it so funny because, you know, all the help and support is out there. We just have to adjust our mindset so that we actually can receive that help and support, so that we can create that success exactly the same way you would if you were learning an instrument or a language. I find it really fascinating. And I think for me, I use the music analogy because I remember when I was 8, I got a clarinet for my birthday and I couldn't play it. It was like a squeak at the beginning. It was awful. But I practiced and I had a clarinet teacher, and I just kept practicing and practicing. And within 7 years, I passed grade 8 and was playing Mozart's clarinet concerto. And so I know what is possible when you sit down and you make a decision to do something, and then you get the help and support and you practice that craft to become amazing, to master that skill. But we don't have to do it all by ourselves. We don't have to figure it out alone. And I think that's the best thing about the internet today. It's brought communities like ours together, and we can support each other and we can help each other, which actually reminds me, obviously, that the team leaders here are doing such an amazing job of cheering everyone on and giving you that support and reaching out to see if you're okay. And so firstly, I just want to say thank you so much for the team leaders, because you guys are incredible.
We have some comments in the chat for all of these women who are there, being there with you in these conversations, helping you come up with the money, helping you make the decision that's right for you, like listening to what your fears are and really watching, like they're feeling so rewarded watching you start to give yourself permission when you started out looking for someone else to do that for you. And oh my goodness, it's let's give just a really big shout out. Let's see, whoever your team leader is, give them some love in the chat. And they are amazing, amazing, amazing. And those resources that they've been posting for you about how to get funding, for some of you, that these are options from PayPal to Amex to Discover. So check the Facebook group out of what they've posted there. I know for those of you that are eligible for PayPal credit, you actually find out instantly. Like you don't even have to wait for like business banking hours. You could find out today. And you don't even necessarily have to use it. I think some of you that are like, I'm taking the plunge, but how am I going to pay for the rest of it? Like you could go and check out the PayPal credit or any of the other ones. So thank you, team leaders, for all of the love and conversations. And if you haven't DM'd your team leader, reached out, do that right now, because they are here with us today, even on a Sunday. They are here for you.
Yeah, there's so many sweet comments coming in of everyone saying thank you for the team leaders. They're so good. But I think that's the thing is, you know, sorry, I was reading the comments about the music and the language analogy, but if you know, the difference is that when you're part of something and you're committed to something and you're gonna, you know, say like for example this 10-week program, it's like, where could you be at the end of the 10 weeks? Like what could you have achieved? What could you have made happen? What breakthroughs will you have had? What ideas will have come up for you that you're going to work on? How could this completely change your life? And there's no question of, can it change your life? It's, are you going to actually allow yourself to go for it and for it to have the impact on you and your life so that you can take this step? And I, you know, it's so exciting to think of what's possible when you just decide I'm going to go for this. I want that success story to be me, like I was talking about the other day. Become that success story. Decide that you want to be the video success story that, you know, we share next year, or, you know, that Gina talks about all the time, or that we talk about all the time. Because I can tell you this for sure, there's nothing that Gina and I would want more than to be able to hop on a Zoom call directly with you and have a conversation around your success story that you got out of this 10-week program. Like for me, that's what, you know, with FEA and, you know, we're doing programs like this, that is the most exciting part of it, is seeing the transformation that someone has, and the success stories. And for me, that is just the most amazing thing. I'm sure it's the same for you too.
Well, and here's the thing, I don't want this to be misconstrued, but it's kind of like guaranteed success. Like this 10-week program is so laid out step by step by step by step. It's like jogging. If you do it, it works. Like you don't have to like wonder, like I wonder if I go jogging every day for 10 weeks and I'm consistent with it, like am I going to see any results? Like we all know, of course that's going to happen. And I want to say something, Carrie, that you brought up such a great point. I have so much heart and compassion for people who want to start a business, and you're like, but will it work for me? And I look at the entrepreneurial scene, it's so different than corporate, right? Because you're like, all you have to do is go online and you're like, I made $50,000 today and I made $60,000 out of nowhere. And then you're like, wait, that like, if that's not happening for you, you can start to think that there's something wrong with you. And so I want to be really clear on one of the things that is really exciting about entrepreneurism. And there is an element of law of attraction. So basically what you saw me do or heard that I did when I manifested that first financial miracle, and even the 20 grand on the bar stool in Saint-Tropez, these were law of attraction elements, right? Like I had a vision, a desire, I felt it, I made a decision, and my frequency was so high that I attracted it in. And I'm sure that many of you, we've all done it in all different ways. Some of us might have done it with money. Some of us might have done it with like a prime parking spot in front of the farmer's market. Others of us, might do it with attracting an A+ team member, whatever. So law of attraction is cool and it's powerful, but I'll tell you something, it's not. It's not consistent. I haven't been able to consistently law of attract in, let's say, 10K months. That's where business comes in. That's where actually having business structures. And so in my opinion, you don't have a business unless you have predictable income coming in. The law of attraction, chunks of money, that's cool. And those are kind of like one-hit wonders. And there are a few cool seminar stories. I will definitely give you that. But what I'm going to be doing with you and what Carrie's going to be doing with you over the course of the 10 weeks in the Perfectly Packaged program is, I'm not taking any credit for it, and you've got to make the decision to do it. But the way this program is set up is that if you do it and come join us, you are basically guaranteeing your success if you do the program the way it's intended. And we've all done stuff that like hasn't worked in the past. Like we've all gone to restaurants that we hadn't had a great meal, but we're not going to stop. And if you just make the decision that you're going to give this one more try, that you're going to look to be one of those success stories that Carrie is talking about, that you are going to, like, this is a proven system that has worked with so many women from so many countries with so many different types of packages. And I've actually never taught it in this way with this high level, this high touch, and this much accountability. Because I want you to know exactly what Carrie is talking about. Like, it's not like, what if you're the next success story? Like the women who show up and are in this program and who are in it to win it, and they're diving into the modules. Like, so for those of you that are in it already, anyone want to give some love in the chat? Like, what is even the A-list accelerator and the bonuses like before you've even gotten into module 1? You want to give us some feedback on how in-depth or what you've gotten from it? I think I saw one comment that said the A-list accelerator was worth the price of admission alone. It's like, the level of depth and consistency and predictability, and like these are proven methods. It's back to like, it's like jogging. If you do it, it works. You sign up for this program and you follow through and you're there asking the questions. I'm going to get to know you. Carrie's going to get to know you. We're going to know your name. You're going to see what's going on, what actually makes sense. And you're going to be in this community. We're going to see the feedback that we give. It's going to start to make sense. Like people start to ask themed questions, meaning like questions that have the same theme to them. Totally understandable. And then you're going to see the responses. And it's like, being in the conversation is the education, not to mention so much of all of the kind of proven techniques. Like you don't have to figure out what to put on your sales page. Like the sales page templates, they're there for you, and you're just going to plunk in your specific details. So hey Carrie, so like, I think, did the internet drop there for a second?
Internet crash. I was like talking away to everyone here thinking that it was yours internet that might have gone.
Oh.
Just disconnected completely. Anyway, I'm back. The joys of the internet.
It's not a perfect process, but we get there. We get there, ladies. We get there. So people were just talking about how I said, this program is designed, and it's like everyone has to guarantee their own success. But this is like, it's like jogging. If you do these 10 weeks in the way they're designed with our feedback and accountability and the coaches that are going to be there, you're going to get the success you crave. And I think one of the scariest things is when we've done something before and it hasn't worked out. And here's what I know, maybe Carrie, you can talk to about it after me, is every time I feel like I did everything I knew to do, and let's say didn't get either any result or the level of result that I was attached to getting, if I were to sit back and really just take an honest look, like, okay, Gina, why was this the particular outcome that you aren't pleased with? I would start to say, well, there was this, and there was this, and there was this, and there was then like all the external stuff, and then all the internal stuff, and this is how I felt about it, and this is where I can see, my role and responsibility was. And I think that so oftentimes we're so addicted to the particular results. There's so much power in the process, and there's so much to learn, and taking personal responsibility as a business owner, as a queen, it feels good. And I've gotten myself out of any worry or anxiety about any result, because I know that as a queen, I've decided to do it no matter what. So like, for example, my book came out March 3rd, 2020, and all the stuff that we had in line for it to like become a bestseller didn't happen. And am I even disappointed? No. Like, it's like, I sat there and I was like, okay, so what are the opportunities now? Like, why is this book not a bestseller yet? And it's like, and what can I do to be part of the process? And quite frankly, I'm having a blast. I'm getting on podcasts that I wouldn't have gotten on, and I'm doing collaborations, and I'm like coming up with all sorts of creative ideas to get this book in the hands of people that, if it had just shot to bestseller status, like, I wouldn't be doing that. Like, you probably wouldn't be gifted a hard copy of my book had that happen, because I've gotten really creative with different marketing ideas. And so I know it's going to be a bestseller, and it's going to be a bestseller whenever that is. And I'm really not attached to that, but I'm having so much fun in the process. And that's what I want for you with packages. Like, if you've got even the dream and even the desire, dear God, please use me, please use my life, and you have an inkling that working in packages is the way that's one way that your life could be used, then you come join us, and you come and you figure it out and you see it through, and we're going to meet you there. And you just get to make the decision that you're going to do it until it's successful, no matter what. Carrie, what do you think?
I love that. It's so true, isn't it? It just, no matter what, you just have to keep going, and it comes back to that decision making, doesn't it, really? That's what it's all about. Is my internet okay, by the way? It kept saying internet unstable. Okay, good. Yeah, no, and it is so exciting to think of like what's possible and what we can all achieve. And yeah, and I think what you said, we have to just get started, roll up our sleeves, allow it to be messy and imperfect, and give ourselves permission to just play around with this and just explore the opportunities. And what I found is that starting where you start is not where you finish. You might be like, so for example, someone was messaging me over Instagram, and so I was replying, and she said she wasn't she didn't have a career, like a profession that she could turn into something. She didn't have that. And I said it's about exploring the possibilities. There might be ideas or passions or hobbies, or I said to her, even if, for example, you happen to really, really love personal development at the moment and you're really into it, you want to learn more about it, and you just love this idea that you can change your mind, you can change your life, and you want to do that for yourself. Like, even going on that journey and exploring that as an option, it might be that, because like what you've said this before, Gina, you only have to be one step ahead of someone else. And so, for example, if you've gone and you've read loads of books and you just absolutely love soaking it up, and you've been testing different things, maybe visualization, and it's really been working, or you've created a vision board and that's really worked, and you've absolutely loved the process and you found it so helpful, and you found that it's just completely changed the way you think and approach things, then you might be like, okay, maybe I could take that and I could help people to do that, because I've found so much joy in it and it's helped me to start changing my life and changing the way I feel. And I could go and share this with someone else and it might change their life too. And I feel, it doesn't have to be some big thing or something that you've got 20 years experience in, or 10 years, or any, you don't have to have loads and loads of experience. It's about getting started. And also, you don't have to have it perfectly figured out, in the sense of, I think sometimes we're like, what is up? What's my purpose? What's my purpose? And we think it's one thing, and it's not. Like, we just need to be able to explore and to evolve and to grow. And that's what happens. And so, like, for me, I started with phone unlocking. Like, I'm not doing anything like that now. I've done business telecoms, I've done like all digital marketing stuff, all sorts of things, to finally find where I feel happy.
Let's talk
Okay.
about the visionary line of yours. Like, I'm so intrigued. Like, coming from services and packages, like, your stuff is gorgeous. That planner. I mean, how did that get started?
So the Carry & Co stationery line was a dream that I had before I started FEA, and I really wanted to create like something beautiful that would be to inspire and empower women, specifically women in business. And the idea of it just sounded so dreamy to me, and like so many things, it's just terrifying, especially when it comes to like e-commerce, because you have to figure out how do you get a manufacturer, and how do you even trust a manufacturer, and like how do you package it, and how do you ship it, and there was just so many things. I felt overwhelmed. It was kind of like I was trying to.
Uh-oh. I think Carrie's internet might have gotten stuck there for a minute. I was really excited to hear this story too, but I know she'll come on back. But I know that, yes, Carrie's stationery company, it's such an inspiration to me. And I think that it's so beautiful. How many of you have her planner, or any of, and that rose gold pen? Like, isn't it just totally, totally awesome? Cool. So, oh, Joe Wilson said, I love my FEA planner, right? The planner is so beautiful. Yes, and actually, I remember when Carrie and I were talking about doing this course, we were like, what should the name of it be? What should the name of it be? And we like had all these different ideas. And then I remember her planner, and it's perfectly planned. And I was like, perfectly packaged. It's the same sort of thing, but for a whole different purpose. So that's actually the inspiration for the entire, oh, Carrie just wrote she doesn't know why her internet keeps going out, but well, this is why you have team and partnership as well. It's like you don't have to do everything on your own. And when something's not working out, another person has your back. And that's exactly what this community is going to be like over the next 10 glorious weeks. It's such a joy and such an honor to be on this journey with you. Like, let's see, for those who of you here have already signed up for Perfectly Packaged, I want to see. And who of you are either still deciding, or do you need some help, or need any questions answered? This program isn't for everyone. And I'm not just looking to get as many people into this program as possible. It's not how I do my best work. It's not how amazing communities are formed. This is really for service-based women, or women who have a dream of having a service-based business and have a desire to get a package out into the world. So it's for two categories of women. One, it's if you don't even know what you want to do, but you just want to do something, and you're like, I want my life to be used, and I want to help people do something meaningful with their lives as well. And you're going to figure that out in the program. So it's for that category of women. Or you already are selling packages, but you're not yet at consistent 10K months with them. And so there's tweaks that I can help you make, and I'll be able to take a look at what are the price points and what's the messaging, and we get into copywriting and social media strategies and all that kind of stuff to get the message out into the world in the right way. So I'll be giving you feedback on all of that as well. So it's for the two categories of you. That one, you just know that you have a desire to work in a way that is meaningful, that is intimate, that you can pandemic proof your profits. It could be your side hustle or your main hustle. You know, packages are the fastest path to cash. So write that down. Packages are the fastest path to cash. I mean, think about it. The program itself is $289 a month. Like if you sell one package at even $300 a month, or just one $300 package, you've paid for your investment that month. Then everything else, it's just profit. It's just profit. And so look, if you're going to be in business, you're going to need to be comfortable at minimum earning and spending $289 a month. And you know my story. There was a time when I did not have that. I didn't have it when I had $60 in my bank account and no known money coming in. And like Carrie's been talking about, like you just start, you just take that next step, you figure it out. Here's what I know 100,000% to be true. Every woman here has access to $289. Where there is a will, there is a way. And it's going to be different for everyone. For one woman, she's going to ask a family member and it's going to loan it to her. Another woman's going to apply for PayPal credit and is going to get the money that way. Another woman is going to look around and be like, you know what? I've got this handbag that I don't use. It's a designer handbag and I'm going to sell it and make the money that way. Someone else already might have a package going and you're going to go do a flash sale and sell a package. Here's what I know for sure from working with thousands of women all over the world for 20 years. When a woman decides that anything is for her, no matter what it is, a pair of shoes, a program, an organic grocery, whatever, it happens. So your opportunity today is to raise your hand and say, dear God, please use me. Like your opportunity today is to make the decision that you're not going to be left behind, that you're not going to sit this one out if this is your desire. If you've gotten clear this week that you do not desire to be selling packages and working in this way, like congratulations. Like that is a decision. I love helping women make decisions, whatever decision is right for them. And if you don't want to work one-on-one or in small groups and you don't want to do packages, then you made the decision to not be in this program. And that, I congratulate you. You're moving yourself forward. If you came in wondering are packages for you and you got clear that they are not, that this conversation is not, it's not your people, it's not your tribe, like that is awesome. That is fantastic. Like, because you've made a decision and your life will be moved forward. For the rest of you, queens don't sit in indecision. Princesses do. Martyrs do. Slave girls do. All the lower vibrational archetypes, the self-sabotagers, it's all about indecision. The roller coaster riders, if you've been reading my book, like that start and stop and that up and down and all around, all of the lower level archetypes sit in indecision. Little Miss Perfect, comparisonitis, like the frugal fanatic, the one who's too afraid to spend money or even look to see how you could come up with the money. Indecision will not move your life forward in any direction. So I'm going to invite you right here, right now, to make a decision one way or the other. You're in or you're out. You're in or you're out. Because I really want you, like what I want more than anything is for your life to be moved forward. And if you are in, you don't have to know how to come up with the money yet. That's what you and the conversations with the team mentors are for, and you going deep into your journal. But once you've made the decision, you're doing it, it can't be a want. It's from that no matter what place. When it's, I'm doing this no matter what, then all the forces of the universe are going to show up to show you how that can happen. You know, when I'm saying packages are the fastest path to cash, 4 $2,500 packages, 10K month, you know, 2 $5,000 packages, 10K month, $2,500 packages, 10K month. Like this is all happening for those of you that have made the decision. And decisions are fun to make. And I think we women, we've been so paralyzed in making a decision because we don't want to get it wrong and we really want to get it right. So it's time for you to make a decision. You've had enough opportunity to sample this conversation, to take a look at the program page, and you get to make a great decision for yourself. If you want to work with packages and you want to get packages out in the world and you believe that this is your fastest path to cash, then you make the decision that you're in. You're with the world's best mentors in this department. I've been doing this for 20 years, and then you get tag team with Carrie with her mindset and her visibility and taking the program right alongside of you. Like, you just make that decision and go, now start putting all your energy in. How can it happen? So welcome back, Carrie.
Oh my gosh. Let's hope my internet stays. I was midway talking and I realized, hang on, everyone's frozen again. Clearly no one can hear me.
All right, so you had this dream of starting your stationery line.
Yeah, I don't know what you heard or when it got off, but yeah, I had this dream, and then I was overwhelmed by like the idea of creating it, manufacturing and all that kind of stuff. And then 2017, 2018, decided I was just going to go for it, and that I just had this dream for a long enough time, enough faffing around with it. I was just going to go all in and figure it out. And so my goal was to keep it simple, and instead of trying to do everything, I just decided I was going to create a planner. So I literally, like, I've got it right here. And so I was thinking, like, firstly, what would I put in a planner? What would I love? What would the perfect planner be like for me? And then I just got online and started figuring out manufacturing. And guess what? I just started taking a little step and a little step and a little step, and the pieces start to slot into place. Because I think when you show up for your dreams and you've got the courage and you take that little step, that's when the way opens. It's like that quote that I shared. I've still got it in front of me. On the first day, it was Rumi. It says, as you start to walk on the way appears. And that was what happened for me with the stationery line. And now we have the journals and the dream book and pens and tote bags and inspirational wall prints and all sorts. And it's so much fun and I love it. And it's also really successful. Like, the planner sells out every year. So it's been really fun to do it. But it's like with packages, it's like with anything. It's like with building a membership site or launching a course. It's committing to the vision and then taking that little step. Because if you try, like I said, I don't know if you heard me say it, but if you try to eat the whole elephant, you're not going to be able to. Like, you have to break it down. You have to stop overwhelming yourself by trying to figure out how to do step 100 when you've not even taken step 1 yet. So my vision for the stationery line came into view because I decided to just start where I was at the beginning. I didn't have a clue, so I had to be like, I don't know what to do, I don't have all the answers, like, show me the way. And literally going back to that place of opening yourself up to being shown the way. And then it's funny because then a resource pops up, or a person pops up, or, you know, some kind of help pops up. You see something on Instagram, an Instagram ad or a Facebook ad pops up, and you're like, this is the perfect thing for me right now. And it's just funny how the universe, I think, conspires to help us all once we get clear on what it is we want and we have the courage to go all in on making it happen. So,
and you know what I think is fascinating about this conversation? So this is why it's so important to be around people who are already doing what you want to do. Like, there's so, like, you know, packages are the easiest thing in the world to me, right? I'm just like, you need such a small number of people to make a big difference in their lives and make a big amount of money. It's like, it's so simple. You just do this, and Carrie's like, I would never know what to do, like, to put a package together. And I'm sitting here listening to you talk about like manufacturing and like, but I have a dream of having a product line. And so it's like, you'll start to see that the stuff that we think is hard, if someone else doesn't think it's hard, it's because they just took the steps and they let it be easy. And experience is the big teacher. Like, we're going to teach you imperfectly packaged how to do these packages. You're going to be literally laughing at anybody who's like, who right now is like, I don't know if it'll work for me. Put it in the chat. Like, I want it to work for me, but I don't know if it'll work for me. I want to see you in the chat right now to write whatever those emotions are, those feelings. I want it to work for me, but I don't know if it'll work for me, or I'm overwhelmed, or I don't know what I would do. Let's see that in the chat.
Yeah, I think we should see that. But I totally agree with you. And I think that also being around people who are dream big, because I remember once having this meeting with somebody who runs a really successful business near where I live. And I remember he said to me, like, what are your goals? And I was like, what kind of goals? And he was like, he said, we started talking about houses and buying houses. And he said something like, I want to own a house in all the cities that I love. And I was like, what? You want to own a house in all those places? And I thought, like, my mind couldn't even comprehend it, because I was like trying to figure out having one house, let alone having 2, 3, 4, 5 houses. But he thought so big. To him, that was possible, and he was going to make it happen. And I came away from that meeting realizing that I needed to up my game. I needed to dream bigger, because I was actually dreaming small. And I think that's the power when you're around people who dream big and who go for it. It really raises your vibration too. It helps you raise your game. And I think, for example, over this past week, I've had so many people message me saying, seeing you holding Marley on these calls makes me realize that I can have a baby, or I can do this with my kids, and that it doesn't have to be a limiting factor. It doesn't have to stop me from following my dreams. And I think when you see somebody else just doing it because they don't have that belief that they can't do it, it empowers us all to think, okay, I'm going to go for it. And to me, that is the biggest, one of the biggest things with community, being surrounded by the right people, and getting yourself away from anyone who's like, you can't do it, it's a load of nonsense, it's never going to work. I try and avoid those people at all cost in my life. I do not want to be around that energy. I mean, I have enough of the negative committee going on in my own head, let alone listening to those people. No, thank you.
Totally. And so I think we just need to wrap this up. So queens make decisions. I want everyone to write this down. Queens make decisions. Queens do not ask, will the perfectly packaged program work for me? If you have a desire for a service or already offer a service, it will work. Please stop any kind of spinning or overthinking in your brain. Please don't post it in the chat. Nobody needs to see it. We've been through this now. I want you to know, I got you. I'm holding you. If you have a desire to offer a service, even if you don't know what it is, that's what I'm here for, is to let you know what will be profitable, what won't. I'll give you all that in the live feedback that you're going to get over the time of the course here together. So no longer ask. And then I don't want to see anyone asking, but will I be able to deliver the content? Do I have what it takes? I am here to assure you that part of what the program is about honing what the thing is that is already inside of you, that is meant to be brought forth into the world. Okay. And look, I say all the time, anybody who's been in my programs here, they know I am not a cosmic cheerleader. I'm not going to be like, oh my gosh, that's so great, that's going to be amazing. I know what will and what won't work in the marketplace. And that's what I'm here to guide you for. That's what you're getting mentoring around. So no more asking questions about if you have a desire to offer a service. It will work. And who you are is enough. And I'm going to help pull out of what's already in you. And I'm going to tell you the other thing too. I'm going to get you set up for success. What's going to make you successful is experience. The only way Carrie and I are able to do what we do at the level that we do it right now is because we've done it and we've done it and we've learned. And I've said all kinds of things throughout the years that, like, I don't say today. And there are things that I didn't say in the past that I say now because I learned through experience. And like Carrie was talking about with her clarinet, she wasn't great on week 1, but when you do it with enough consistency, everyone gets great at it. All right, so do we have a pinky swear here? Queens make decisions. You're gonna make a decision today. Are you in or you out? If you want to do packages and you know that packages are the fastest path to cash, then you're going to make that decision to go all in, and you're not going to ask the questions of, will this work for me? Does it work for this kind of service-based business? Do I have what it takes? You're going to work with us to put yourself in the position so that you can and you will. And then what I was going to say earlier is, for any of you that are like, I'm freaking out, which is totally normal and understandable, you're going to be laughing in a matter of weeks, because you're going to be like, that's it. That's it. I could have been having this much fun all along. I could have been making money all along. I could have been making a difference in people's lives all along. Like, what took me so long to get started? That's how it's going to feel in a matter of weeks. I promise.
So exciting. I also wanted to say, for everyone that's posted in the comments, because it's been interesting reading these, about how you're scared of the unknown, you're nervous, you're wondering whether you'll be able to follow through, whether you'll make it work for you. What would it take to take the leap to actually doing this and to committing to it? Like, what would need to happen for you to feel that you could actually give yourself permission to go for this? I think it's interesting, because is it, for example, just that you need to make a decision and that decision is terrifying you because there are so many unknown factors, but you know deep down that this is the right path for you to be on, and you need to just start following the path, you know, and just asking yourself, what would it take for me to be able to make this leap and to commit to following my dreams in this way? I think it's really interesting how much we hold ourselves back and think about, is it just a decision away to completely transform your knowledge, your experience, your expertise, and the support that you have around you? Is that just one decision away for you? Well, it is a decision away, but like, what would it take to make that decision? And we're here as well, so if you want help, and if you want to, you know, if you need help, obviously we've got the team leaders here and they're here to support you, so you can message them and email us. We're all here to help support you and to help you in any way whatsoever. So if you need it, then ask. I was going to ask, did you do the giveaway?
No. What I was going to say is, so everyone go to divineliving.com/perfectly packaged. If you haven't made the decision yet to get yourself registered, go and do that now. You do have until Friday. I want you to know that for those of you that are working on manifesting the money, doors don't close until Friday. So you've got until Friday. However, Carrie's got some scholarships to give away to two amazing winners who did the homework. And we have another bonus. So if you've signed up so far, or if you sign up today, there is a special, another fast action bonus for you. Who's excited and ready to hear what that is? Carrie, I will let you share the scholarship winners first, shall we?
I would, but because my internet crashed, I've lost them from the chat. I don't know who they are anymore.
And I will happily announce the scholarship winners. Okay, hold on, I gotta move my phone here. I got a little drum roll. And for the partial scholarship winner, it is Michelle MacArthur. Michelle MacArthur, you have just won a 50% scholarship into the Perfectly Packaged program. Michelle, if you are here, either DM your team leader, Courtney, or write us in the chat. That is Michelle MacArthur. And, oh wait, we have more actually. We have another partial scholarship winner. Let's do the drum roll. Catty Usin, you have won a 50% scholarship to Perfectly Packaged, and your team leader is Lucy. Type in the chat or DM Lucy so that we know you are here, so you can claim it. And for the full scholarship winner on this Sunday, Gunnar Matheson, you have won a 100% scholarship to Perfectly Packaged. Congratulations, ladies, for doing your homework assignment. You have done such an amazing job, and claim those scholarships. And then, Carrie, we are really excited to announce the new Fast Action bonus. Do you want to talk about that?
Yes, so the amazing Alison Prince, she is incredible for all things e-commerce. Like, her knowledge on building a successful e-commerce business is phenomenal. She's sold businesses, and she's also just the loveliest person. She is going to come and do a live masterclass and training and a Q&A with you to share how you could add products, or products to your business. So if at some point you want to create journals, or you want to sell pens, or you want to do inspirational prints or tote bags or whatever it is, she's going to help show you how you can do that, and how you can make that your reality. She's absolutely incredible. So that is definitely one not to be missed, because when you have those, I have found when you've got physical products, it creates a whole different dimension to the experience people have when people physically receive something from you in the post. I don't know, there's just something powerful about it. And I know how overwhelming the idea is to have to go from dreaming of having a journal or a planner or whatever it is to actually making it your reality, but you can do it, and Alison is definitely somebody that can help show you how. So show you how to do it. So that is an incredible bonus. So that is available for anyone that signs up. Is it in today or the next 24 hours?
It's anyone who signs up in the next 24 hours. So go get yourself registered right now. For all of you who have already signed up, remember these bonuses are stacking. We are a generous group here. So if you've already signed up, you will definitely get this masterclass with Alison. Alison has sold tens of millions of dollars of e-commerce and teaches women all around the world how to do it. Her story is so incredible. She's a mother of 4. She got started by selling trash in her home. Did you know that? Like, she found trash in her home and went and sold it online and has created this most successful business. Now she does all kinds of cool things, as Carrie was saying, journals and t-shirts and pens and all that kind of cool stuff. So I know that I wanted Alison to come because, like I'm sharing with you, like I want my own journals and pens to go along with my packages. And so if you ever want that, then you'll have access to this masterclass, the resources, you'll have lifetime access to it as well. So that at whatever point the time is right for you to add your own journal or accessory line to your packages, you will know how to do that. So yes. Oh, people are saying Alison J. Prince. Yes, she's really, and just as Carrie was saying, such a love. So that we're giving you a reason to not only make that decision, but to take action on that decision. So go to divineliving.com/perfectly packaged, get in to get the bonus. But then ladies, like, what else do they get when they sign up immediately? It's that A-list accelerator. It is access to my Sales Superstar course. It's access to coaching demonstrations. There's like so much that you get to just like binge watch and dive in on this Sunday. So get yourself in, because the more prepared you're gonna be for when class actually starts, that's what this whole A-list accelerator time is for. It's to help you do this kind of life cleanse and get stuff off your plate and out of your inbox so that you can add all the new awesome stuff. So whoever's already dived into the A-list accelerator, let people know what they can expect and how amazing it is. And I will look forward to seeing you on the inside. Until next time, any sign off from you, Carrie?
No, just have a wonderful Sunday, everyone. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will be excited to see you again at some point this week.
Yes. Mwah. Happy Sunday. And remember, you just raise your hand, say, dear God, please use me, please use my life, and prepare me for the next level. Lots of love, ladies. Bye-bye.
Bye.